Hello everybody, as you saw from the thumbnail and the title of this video, we are talking about why the Boston Bruins need to be aggressive as the NHL trade deadline approaches. Now before we start, please make sure to subscribe to my channel if you are new to me, new to hockey, whatever the case may be. I'd love to have you here along the way as I try to do this as a career. Now let's talk about the Bees and why exactly do the Bruins need to be aggressive. Here are a few reasons that I feel like just really make sense. For one, where they sit in the standings, they're the best team in the league, and they are a club that, really is on their way to possibly being one of the greatest of all time in a one-season span. They are 43, 8-5 in 56 games played and have 91 points on the season. This is a really good year, so you're probably thinking, whoa, why do they need to be aggressive if they're the best team in the league? Well, the thing is, we've heard that before, and we've also heard some other things about them having great years. So let's take a recap of some recent seasons where they were really good and talk about what happened in those seasons. So the 2017-18 season, 112 points, fourth in the league. They lost in the second round. 2018-19 season, 107 points, third in the league overall, and then lost the Stanley Cup final. 2019-20 season, 100 points, first in the league. Of course, that was the shortened year because of the spicy cough, but they lost again in the second round. And then this past season, 107 points, 10th in the league in a very, very deep year for teams, but still on a very, very good season. What happened to Boston? They lost in the second round. And this is actually, they might have lost in the first round, but still, you get the point. This is a very good team that has been able to be good, but not get the job done when it matters most. Yeah, we could talk about the other sports, especially soccer/football, whatever you want to call it, where the best team is the best team, but this is North American sports, and really sports around the world, like Australia, stuff like that. It's really about the playoffs, and this is big. This is where they have to make the most of their moments. The other problem is for the Bruins, there's some old guys that might not be there. Patrice Bergeron, of course, their arguably greatest player, and I don't even know how long, is on a one-year deal. There's rumors that maybe he's thinking about retirement. He's on a great deal, by the way, and he could be going next year. So could David Krejci, who is also on a one-year, like $1 million deal. That's a bargain there too. So you're looking at this saying there's some old guys that are still some of the better players on this team, and they could be gone. You're looking at these two that would retire. You wouldn't even have a chance to keep them and offer them all this money. They might just be done. It's not the situation where they could go somewhere else, but that's big there because, of course, center depth. And on top of that, why do the Bruins need to make a move? Well, they could be without even more talent next year, as David Pastrnak is a UFA after this season. If they lose him, maybe the playoffs are a factor. Maybe he looks at this and he says, I've been here, we've been a very good team, but now I'm not about to take a pay cut like a lot of other guys do just to lose, let's say in the second round, conference final, whatever the case may be. Maybe he doesn't do that. Maybe them losing early, again, could be a factor in him leaving. And regardless, you look at this and you say, Pastrnak is one of the best players in the league, especially when it comes to goal scoring. But not only that, he's one of the most entertaining players in the league, which brings fans to the stadium, and you don't want to lose him. And it's a problem too, because I'll show you this photo. This is their top six right now. This is from Daily Faceoff. Took a screenshot here. Check them out. They do a really good job with the lineup, stuff like that. This is what their lineup could look like, their top six next year if Krejci, Bergeron, and Pastrnak left. Obviously, that would be a problem, and we've already talked about that, but it kind of puts things in perspective there when you realize you're losing two centers and your best winger, arguably your best winger. But outside of it, there are other reasons why Boston needs to make moves besides the fact that these guys could retire and they could lose talent and not be as good next year. The big thing is other teams right now are getting better. They are loading up, and Boston probably needs to make the same move. Notably, you're looking at the past week, 2 weeks, the New York Rangers added Vladimir Tarasenko. A guy that maybe isn't as terrifying as he was in his prime. Injuries really have played a part in that, but a player that certainly, if he's on a team like New York that has that offensive potential, he gets dangerous on the power play. New York has a lot of guys that can pass to the slot, and Artemi would love, not Artemi, but Tarasenko would love to take advantage of that and have a revitalization with New York. So you're thinking of that. And then recently, probably not even a week ago, I think it was, you had Ryan O'Reilly, who was traded to the Maple Leafs. This is big because Toronto has been one of the better teams in the league in the recent years. And of course, they have insane center depth now. The thing is, they probably will just keep moving Tavares out on the wing if they have O'Reilly there. But if they wanted to go 3 deep, they absolutely could and have made that big move. Boston has not yet, at least. So here are my thoughts. Boston needs to be somewhat aggressive here. I'm not saying they need to sell the farm or anything like that, because at the end of the day, you think back to these teams and you say, yeah, they were good, but I'm really at the point where I'm skeptical about Boston getting the job done. Are they a team that could get there? Absolutely. Are they better than some teams that have won it? Probably you could say that, yes. But there is the problem that there's no guarantee that with this roster, they could go on and get to the cup and win it. Now, I'm not saying there's a guarantee if they make a move, but certainly with other teams making moves, you would think that it would probably help to go out there and be somewhat aggressive. This is a club, too, that has some prospects to be excited about. They have some first-rounders as well. I think they have this year's first-round pick and next year's. They don't have a second-round pick in either of the upcoming drafts, but you still look at this and they have some prospects and a few picks that you could get, and you're very happy about that. One thing that I will say, Fabian Lysell, you're not going to trade him. In my opinion, he is that good where you don't do it. There's some other guys, Beecher, maybe you trade him. Again, he's young, that center depth kind of is a concern, but maybe you give up picks. This is really, though, where Boston has to decide. What's the future going to look like? Because if they lose Bergeron, they lose Pastrnak, they lose Krejci, they're not going to be nearly as good, and we know that. This could be the last big swing, the last big swing of the X, the last big punch, the last big run, whatever you want to call it, the last dance. I don't care what you call it. The reality is Boston is at the point where this could be their best year in who knows how long, and you'd hate to say, yep, Boston, another great year, no championship since 2011, and the team suddenly got worse. That's my take on it. Again, you don't give up the farm. You don't do anything stupid that would ruin your chances of being good within even 7 years, something like that. But you do make a move. And I think it's going to have to be towards the deadline that maybe this happens, maybe it doesn't, but you don't want to also lose these guys. Gavrikov is suddenly in the mix there for Boston. Maybe he's their guy. I don't think that's going to move the needle enough for them. Maybe it does. Maybe Boston doesn't make a move at all. With their cap and stuff like that, they'd have to move guys out. But maybe they do, they don't. Regardless, go out there and just try to figure this out soon, because Bruins fans are not looking forward to possibly hearing all the talk on social media after this. But anyway, those are my reasons as to why Boston probably needs to make a move. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Do you think this team, which of course I wouldn't argue with you if they thought that they were good enough, but do you think they do or don't need to make a move? That's all I want to know and why. Please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe, have a great night, and you go love hockey, all right? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.